Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this week's Weekly Wave. This week's call is going to be much shorter than last week's. The video, if you missed last week's, is available on our website. The link to that will be given to you all at the end if you do not already have that. So to get started, we do have one alert for you all for this week related to Edplan. We will be in sync with Edplan again within 24 hours of our next data exchange, which will be happening today around 3 p.m. So currently, any information that you're seeing in Edplan will be out of date. There was no sync yesterday due to some issues on our end, and we do apologize for that. If it is impeding any work by your special ed staff being done in Edplan, we do apologize for that. So any STNs that were created yesterday or resolved yesterday, any enrollment issues that were corrected yesterday or put into your student information system and was sent to the wave, and that information, again, will appear in Edplan within 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours of our next data exchange, which will be happening today at 3 o'clock. So again, just pass that along to your special ed staff if they have not already been told that from somebody with access to Edplan. The necessary parties have been alerted, so they are very well aware. Edplan does know that there was no sync yesterday like we normally do. Typically, we do send Edplan data every day, and this is all the information that you can see in Edplan or in My Data. I apologize. So any information that is in My Data currently today will be sent over to Edplan so that we can be in sync again, and you will see those updates in Edplan within 24 to 48 hours of that information being loaded into Edplan itself. So moving on, for those of you who are in the wave and may be going into our state reporting certification section, you may notice that the graduation part-time quarter 2 report has been extended. This is due to a school district having a adjustment to their calendar, and so we had to adjust the report due date as well. So you'll see that that report has been extended until February 5th, 2021. Do try and make sure that you do get that report done if you haven't already before the deadline. And moving on to access, we are still getting a few emails about individuals not being able to access the wave. For security reasons, we do have a secondary login on the wave. So when you log into single sign-on and you go to the wave, you'll be prompted to input some Microsoft credentials, and that information is given to you by OMES if you hadn't gotten a email from them originally when we made the switch back in September. So if you have any new staff members or new folks getting access to the wave, do make sure that they are being directed to OMES so that they can have an account created, and that a OMES staff member can reach back out, give you the email address that you will need to get into the wave, as well as the password to get into the wave as well. Our office can help in some situations, but most likely we do have to direct you to OMES, and they will make sure to speak with you to make sure that you successfully get logged into the wave. So again, for security reasons, we had to put a secondary login over the wave for the time being. So if you have any issues with those Microsoft logins, say you forgot your password or anything like that, you can reset that just like you would reset an email password normally. There's no reason that you'll have to reach out to OMES specifically to change your password, but you will have to reach out to OMES if you've never been given the Microsoft credentials to get into the wave itself. And for the STN system, if you do have staff members that need to get into the new state testing number STN system, contacting your superintendent, or if you've got a person designated as your single sign-on admin, you'll want to reach out to either individual if they're not the same person to get access to that new system. Giving out access to the new STN system will work very similarly to any other application in single sign-on. You won't have to reach out to OMES unless you happen to be the superintendent. Then OMES will have to give you that role specifically. Otherwise, whoever in your district is able to give single sign-on or give access to single sign-on applications will be able to get you access to that STN system the same day. But if you are running into problems, do let us know. One thing that I do not have mentioned in this slide, but I will have ready when we do post this on our website. For those of you who are accessing the STN system and you see a pop-up saying that you have some issues with your account and that you need to resolve those before getting into the STN system, you can continue on without making those adjustments to your account. There is a small continue button on the lower left-hand side of that pop-up that appears for those of you who do see that. Clicking continue will allow you to get right into the STN system. That pop-up is mainly saying that you do have some sort of conflicting role. SD is very aware of this issue and it's something that we are visiting. We're not going to make any sudden adjustments. We're not going to mess with anybody who has conflicting roles at this moment in time, but it will be something that we do need to address moving forward. So just be wary if you are seeing that message that says, hey, you've got some sort of conflicting issue with your single sign-on account, but when you go in there, you're not seeing anything that you need to adjust. Just know that that is related to the types of roles that you have. For example, if you are a district user, but for some reason you also have the role of a principal, that is a conflicting single sign-on role. So that is why you're seeing that. We do know that some of our power users here do have role access like that. And again, we will be looking into that, but for the time being, you can just press the continue button. This is just giving you a heads up that you have a conflicting single sign-on role. And again, when we do post these, there will be a screenshot to help if you are sitting there wondering what I'm talking about. So going forward, again with STNs, this is a really hot topic for us this week. If you are missing STNs in your student information system, you'll want to email the student data info email address or give us a call, and we will take a look at what's going on. If you're sending us an email about this, do make sure that you're including either the local ID of the student or their last name. We don't need any other information. We can look the student up with just their local ID and knowing what district you are contacting us from. If you are seeing students in our new STN system, but you see that they have a STN in your local student information system, email us about that as well. Don't leave those students just sitting in the STN system, as that's telling you that for some reason their demographic information has not been assigned a state testing number. And so you'll have to go in there and resolve those students, unfortunately. But again, if you can email us about those situations, that'll help us pinpoint the reason why they're showing up, again, in the new STN system, even though you have a STN in your student information system. There are a couple reasons why that could happen, and having more examples will help us make sure that this does not continue to happen for those of you that it is occurring for. If you do have a student in the STN wizard, in the STN system, and there is not a match to the STN that you may have from a records request, or you called the other district or site and they gave you the STN, if in the system that STN does not appear, don't create a new one and just move on. You will want to email us as well. Include that STN that you were given previously, and we'll give you direction on how to move forward. Most likely what we'll have you do is create a new STN, and we will merge and link those two STNs so that that student can continue to go by their previous STN. There may have been a discrepancy between the information that we have on file from a previous enrollment versus what we are getting from your student information system currently. These situations, again, the more examples we have, the better we can try to make our matching process so that you won't have to continue to email us about things like this. So again, in those 3 situations, if you have any of those occurring, just give us reach out to us in any way, and we'll make sure to get you squared away so that you can make sure that that student has the same STN going forward. We want to make sure that each student has the same STN for their entire enrollment history, unless there's some court reason why we need to disassociate information from one year to another. One thing that is pretty brand new, this is popped up for us yesterday, but if you are seeing students in your student information system specifically that has the word null in your student information system, wherever they display the state testing number, if you see null, you'll want to reach out to your vendor's support. Now for one, the group that we identified yesterday, the vendor has already been contacted. But again, if you are seeing this, just to help them out as well, you'll want to make sure that you are also contacting the vendor support just to make sure that they are properly logging all of that information. If there's anything that they need to adjust on their end, they can make sure to do that as well. So again, 3 situations you want to call or email our office about so we can pinpoint the issue. Otherwise, you want to reach out to your student information system vendor. But obviously, if you are missing STNs completely, there's none in your student information system, nothing in the state testing number system, please reach out to us immediately. There may be a data validation issue that's causing the student not to appear or be automatically assigned an STN. So double check that before you do reach out to us. But if you've checked all your bases and there is no rhyme or reason why the student is not appearing with an STN, we will be able to help you out in those situations. But do make sure that you're reaching out to us in one way or another is the bottom line there. All right, so the last slide for today, again, is related to STNs. So we just wanted to reiterate this. If you had a student that was ever educated in a Oklahoma public school, that student most likely 9 times out of 10 has already been assigned a state testing number. So you'll want to make sure that even though they appear in the STN system, even if they don't have any matches, that you do not create a new STN. For some of you, you may be seeing these situations pop up, say, in accountability reporting. By not creating a new STN, this will help out those conflicts that you're seeing as well. So if the student was ever educated in a Oklahoma public school, do not create a new STN under any circumstances, unless there is a court-ordered reason why the student needs to have their information completely disassociated with anything else that we may already have on file. Like I've said in the previous slide, just want to contact us to make sure that everything is looking all right. We can and do have the means to look up any school year's worth of enrollments. So we can look up the student, make sure to get them associated with the correct STN, but making sure to reach out to us is going to help out. We are doing this work as well in the background, so you may notice in your student information system without prompt that the student's STN may be changing as well. We're really right now, our goal is to make sure that every single student in the state is associated with one and only one STN. So on the flip side of that, if the student was never educated in an Oklahoma public school and is in the STN system, you can go ahead and create an STN. If the student came to you from out of state, you have no records that say that they were ever educated in Oklahoma, and they wouldn't have an Oklahoma state testing number. So that is really the only situation where it would be appropriate to create an STN for a student and not have them linked to a previously assigned STN. So again, pretty simple there. If a student was ever educated in Oklahoma, just assume that they have an STN floating around somewhere. If they have never been educated in an Oklahoma public school, then they will not have a STN assigned to them by our STN assignment process. All right, so long spiel over. If you do have any questions that you are not comfortable speaking up about right now, our email address is on your screen. And like I said at the beginning of this, we do have all of our documents and guidance available on our website, as well as all of these Weekly Wave videos and slides, so you can share them with whomever you need to. The guidance, if you missed it from last week's call, again, is at this link here, or it will be, it is not currently. Currently, the only way that you could get that is, and I will put that in the chat for you guys in just a second, but if you do need a direct link to the STN Wizard system guidance, we'll put that for you in the chat. That was sent out last week via a Gov delivery. So the link that I'm about to put here will allow you to subscribe to those if you don't get them. And they were also posted on our Microsoft Teams channel if you are subscribed to that as well. So I'll go ahead here, keep sharing my screen, but I will stop the recording and open